Hello everyone, this is Damus, and welcome back to my Let's Play of the Baldur's Gate Trilogy.
If it must be done.
In this episode we'll do a few housekeeping things, get some extra spells that I think I'll need, and also finish up the Umar Hills and that whole quest with the shadows.
We had a deal, and I am certain you are eager to see it fulfilled.
I'm finally back from my trip. I went to Yellowstone National Park with my wife.
I've heard it called a residence for the
It was a lot of fun and very tiring. I have blisters on my feet.
You will be on your own to contend with the asylum defenses and with the pirates that run the place. Return with Imoen as you wish. Kill Irenicus if you can.
It's probably best left to me. Yeah?
So I recorded this and a whole bunch of other footage before I left, so I don't quite remember what happens in this video. I just skimmed through it before I started recording. But as you could see, if you're paying attention, before we left the Shadow Thieves Guild, I'm level 12 as my mage, so we're getting pretty close there.
Not a concern.
And level 12 gives you the power of the death spell, which affects everything.
I hope this is worth it. Yeah, I'll see to it.
So as always, I'm erasing spells and rememorizing as I get them.
Give me some direction. What is it?
And here's Niebuhr. To avoid having him irritate me for the rest of my life, I decided to just initiate dialogue with him over and over and over and over. And he gives you 1,000 experience to do that.
You look like the sort who has more than 2 gold pieces to rub together.
So I picked up both of these spells, Mislead and True Sight. And I think I pick up Protection from Magical Energy. Maybe I don't. But anyway, I don't need any of those. Mislead is a good spell, but it's I think it's a level 6 spell, which means it's not as good as it could be. For instance, Shadow Door is just as good, and it can I mean, it's a level 5 spell. The only thing that Mislead has going for it is if you're a bard, you can cast Mislead and have your misled, I guess, simulacrum or mirror image. They can sing the bard song, and it will stack with your other bard song. That's particularly powerful if you're running with a Scald in your party, the one that gives bonuses to armor class, to hit and to damage. And the reason I don't need True Sight is because you get the book of infinite spells later, and if you get lucky, you can get the page that has True Sight on it. Not to mention the fact that you don't ever need true sight in the game, to be honest.
I'm there.
If I remember correctly, that sling is quite good. It's a +3 sling. I think it might even generate its own fire bolts, or not bolts, bullets. Otherwise, it does extra fire damage per bullet. It doesn't make it a very great late game sling, just because it doesn't generate its own bullets, but it is still a decent sling. Or it might be the Sling of Seeking, which gives you +5 to your Thaco, so it makes your mages and priests more likely to hit. Which is actually reasonably significant. Oh, for that puzzle right there, you need to walk on the letters that spell out Aminator, which is the old god of sun that Lathander replaced during the time of troubles. And you can figure that out for yourself by walking through this area and reading the scrolls and all the information.
If it must be done.
So for this this little puzzle here, you get 2 out of 3 answers from each of the rituals, and you can use deduction to learn the third, but I just do trial and error. Occasionally you do have to be careful with this if you're not as high of a level as I am and you don't have as much hit points. It's very rare that you're going to have this many hit points unless you're a barbarian or if you're doing a solo playthrough like mine. Of course, you can also cast protection from fire on yourself, any sort of protection from fire spell, and you'll be okay. If you don't want to go around and pick up the scrolls that tell you how to do the rituals, you just want to do it trial and error. So I was kind of thinking to myself what I would need for this next fight, for the Shade Lord fight. And I'm also starting to switch out my spell book a little bit, using normal invisibility instead of improved invisibility, just because Stone Skin's too good to pass up. Which I do choose Spider Spawn there for that
Give me
level,
some
but I don't
direction.
think I ever use it.
It's probably best left to me. I'm waiting. Yeah? Hey, not a concern.
You might wonder why I summon Kithix instead of the other summons that I have that are free. The reason I summon him more often than not is because he lasts for an hour. Whereas the others are like 1 turn or 3 turns,
I hope
something
this is
like that.
worth it.
I've probably mentioned that in a playthrough or an episode before, but if I haven't, or if you didn't hear it before, then that's the reason why I'm doing that.
Something is arrived. I sense fresh souls. Who in bravado? Oh, but you shall, mortal. This body that I inhabit grows tired. You shall make an excellent replacement.
And you saw right there the most annoying part of that fight, the Shadow Altar, gets instantly killed.
Some strength.
And I got lucky there for my contingency, so I'm invisible. They can't see me during this whole period of stun or paralysis, whatever it might be.
Give me some direct. I'll see to it.
So I ran off and decided to summon myself an army, just in case. But this fight goes off without a hitch. Oh, it looks like I do cast Spider Spawn.
I'm waiting. I'm willing.
It does give you sword spiders, which synergize extremely well with improved haste, because they already have 5 attacks per round, so they would essentially be under the improved whirlwind high level ability if you cast improved haste on them. And I think they hit as if they have +1 weapons, and of course they have the poison that all spiders have. So even if they're only hitting on a critical hit, they still have, you can reasonably expect them to hit once every 2 rounds, if they're throwing out 10 attacks per round, and then the enemy, no matter what, has to do a save versus spell. So I mean, it's better than nothing. I still much prefer the skeletons because they're immune to magic, and they're also immune to mind affecting abilities, particularly in the illithid layer. That's important. I guess there's 2 illithid layers. It's important in both of those. And you might want me to fight the Shadow Dragon right now. I will save that for another time once I have my fighter levels back. But more or less what we're going to do for the rest of this episode is go up and ruthlessly kill Valagar, because I don't want him as a party member, of course. And that's the fastest way to get into the planar sphere, which I do plan on doing. There's a ring that I'd like.
Oh, there. More cowled ones are their servants, no doubt. By the gods, I swear you'll not live to take me to that damnable spear.
But we're gonna kill him, and then we're gonna turn in the quest and collect our rewards. Maybe sell some of our stuff. So I was thinking to myself that Valagar's weapon might be worth keeping if you're a thief, just because it has that effect that can't be resisted. But I was thinking about it, and Jor the Bleeder has it as well, and it's I think a +2 bastard sword that doesn't have the restriction that only Valagar can use it. So you don't have to be a level 24 or higher thief in order to use it. If you are a high level thief, though, his armor is actually pretty decent. I think it's leather, so you can hide in shadows when you have it on, and it gives you immune to protection, or immune to charm, and I think hold, or something like that. But it's actually a pretty decent armor. And I guess Valagar's weapon is decent. It's worth mentioning, even though Jor the Bleeder exists, just because it has that +2 to armor class bonus. But anyway, I'm gonna let the video play out. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.
I hope this is worth it.
Is there something you need? Oh, this is most joyous news.
Yeah, I'll see to it.
Greetings, good customer. A pearl to you?